Hi everyone, welcome to my first review. Today I'll be reviewing Captain Underpants and the Terrifying Return of Tippy Tinkle Trousers, the ninth epic novel by Dave Pilkey. And I am a huge fan of Captain Underpants, and this book was published in 2012. And this book was supposed to come out sooner, but the book series went on hiatus in 2006 after the preposterous plight of Purple Potty People, because the author, Dave Pilkey, he was going through some personal issues. But I'm glad Captain Underpants is back, and it's just as good as it always has been. So in this book, it was a really good book, The Terrifying Return of Tippy Tinkle Trousers. George and Harold are aged down to preschoolers. Let me get a picture of that real quick. Here we go. Starting on chapter 9. Tippy Tinkle Trousers goes back in time because he has some business to do. But I love this book because I love how they made George and Harold preschoolers. This is before they made Captain Underpants, so they didn't really have a superhero to fight their problems like they did in the 4th grade. And I'm telling you, I don't want to spoil it to anyone who hasn't read the book, but this is probably the best bullying story I've ever read. I'm sorry. This story is so creative. It's so creative, and it goes so far in its plot line. Like, George and Harold pull the ultimate prank on 6th graders, and George and Harold, I'm telling you, they're really smart for kindergartners. Like, when I was in kindergarten, I was pretty smart, but not this smart. So what they do is that they grab Kipper Krupp, who's the bully. They grab Kipper Krupp's combination lock. Here you go, here's a flip-orama. They hide stuff in Kipper Krupp's locker to humiliate him in front of his own friends. And it was really funny how his friends actually believed him, and it was so it was funny how not even his friends are loyal to him, and they were all teasing him. And George and Harold had the best ideas for pranks, and I love whenever they would order the pizzas, because the kindergartners really deserved it, because those boys were being real jerks to them. And this story has a nice moral in it, really. You should never bully people, and if you do bully people, you'll never get away with it. You'll always get your comeuppance. And the illustrations are nice, and Dave Pilkey's style never changes, because a lot of cartoonists over the years, their styles change. Like Butch Hartman, his work is a little different now than it was back in the 2000s. I don't know much cartoonists who I can say whose work is still loyal to their old work, but Dave Pilkey is so loyal to his old work. And I like how this book is 2012. I like how it's not super hip or modern like most cartoons are these days. It's just a nice old-fashioned, fun cartoon story, you know? Nice illustrations, hilarious jokes, creative dialogue, clever and witty writing, you know. I love this story. It's so clever, and it shows George and Harold's backstory. That's another thing. We figured out why George doesn't have an afro anymore when he's older. And we figured out that the first comic that George and Harold made, let me go back, was Dogman. And a lot of you Captain Underpants fans are probably familiar. Dogman is a new graphic novel series that Dave Pilkey is making now. So those I haven't read yet, but I've read all the Captain Underpants books except for Captain Underpants and the Tyrannical Retaliation of the Turbo Toilet 2000, and Captain Underpants and the Sensational Saga of Sir Stinks-A-Lot. Those really long names. And you know what I like about Dave Pilkey? He can still think like a kid, even though he's not a kid. And like my cartoons, I want them to feel very classic like this, like kind of the way a kid would think. It's their imagination. you see, the thing is, Captain Underpants was one of my inspirations for my cartoons, like how I'm making Bubble Boy. There's gonna be a lot of similarities between Bubble Boy and Captain Underpants. Like the writing style, I've always loved the writing style of Captain Underpants since I was a kid. Still love Captain Underpants to this day. It's still going strong. I hope Dave Pilkey keeps making more books. Dave Pilkey's a real inspiration to anyone, not just writers and cartoonists, but anybody. The way Dave Pilkey was bullied as a kid and as a teenager, and this book kind of shows his backstory of how he was bullied, how a lot of adults looked down on his talent, but he didn't give up because he thought that kids deserved fun memories with his books. And I'm so glad Dave Pilkey never gave up. I loved his books as a kid. I still love them today, and I'll always love Captain Underpants. They're such wonderful and funny and hilarious books. Great books, great books. Recommend it to anyone who loves cartoons, anyone who loves to read. These book series have gotten a lot of children into reading, children who are kind of discouraged from reading. And I also like this book because I can relate to it. I was bullied in high school because people would make fun of my cartoons. They thought it was immature. And the way David, George, and Harold are bullied in the book, it's something I can relate to even if I'm not in kindergarten. It's like a nice moral to never bully anybody because people have feelings. I love this book. It's so hilarious. The prank they did was so well thought out and thorough. I don't want to spoil it to anyone who hasn't read it. But check it out from your library, buy from your bookstore. Captain Underpants is awesome. I love the Dave Pilkey's style, and he's so clever, and I like how he can think like a kid, and everything about his books reeks of fun and good-heartedness. And I like how it's not too saccharine. Like, they're children's stories, but they're not too like in your face about it. They don't talk down to kids. But at the same time, it still remains innocent and kid friendly. And that's how I want to keep my cartoons. I want it to be in this style. Very, very inspirational man Dave Pilkey is. His books are hilarious, and I'm gonna go out with a few fliporamas. Oh, look at that. That's some good stuff right there. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but like good old Dave Pilkey, he plays a funny trick on us, and he makes us think like this is the last Captain Underpants novel, but there's still gonna be more, like 2 more after this, and hopefully more Captain Underpants. So thank you all for watching, and see you later on my next video. Bye.